right, what's going on, Gator fans? So, last Saturday, Florida lost in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party to Georgia again. Scored 20 points against Georgia, no more again. And they've beaten us 5 years in a row. So now another senior class will graduate from Athens without losing to Florida in their entire collegiate tenures in that school. Gunnar Stockton play is a lot better than what I thought in the off season because, well, quite frankly, I didn't have enough footage on him to make a determination about him one way or another, and he has gotten better and better as time has gone on throughout this season. They have a very good duo in their running back core. I can't remember who the other running back is, but they have a freshman running back named Chauncey Bowens, who at one point was committed to Florida. He has been a stud for the Bulldogs in their backfield. They obviously have Zachariah Branch, who is Speedy Gonzalez reincarnated, and he is just a rocket ship with shoulder pads and a helmet on. He's very hard to tackle. So is Gunnar Stockton. They also have a very good tight end group. I can't remember the tight end's name against Georgia because it's been a few days since the game ended. But overall, there was Georgia did what they did. They constantly found ways to win games, and that's the thing when you have a program that has competed for SEC titles and national titles for the last, well, really decades since Kirby Smart has been there. You eventually learn after, failing to go over the hump a few times. You eventually learn to win, and then you eventually know how to close out the closest moments. And they've done that the last 2 years. Every time you think they're dead, they keep coming back, and they keep sitting up like the Undertaker, and they keep coming back and winning games. So they're like a football team that you have to beat twice just to beat them once, unless you're Alabama. In that case, it's the other way around for Georgia to do that to Bama. DJ Lagway, I don't think he had a bad game, but I'm not going to say he played a good game. He was like somewhere in between. Because he made a very great throw to Eugene Wilson, which, by the way, I don't know how Billy Napier did not find out how to utilize Eugene Wilson when Billy Gonzalez did it with only 2 weeks of preparation. But Billy Napier had 3 years to do it and never fully discovered the dude's potential when untapped or unlimited by those wide receiver screens he loved to throw. But Eugene Wilson was a phenomenal player. I know people are going to automatically pick him to be Florida's player of the game, but to me, it was George Gums, and I'll get to him later. But I thought Eugene Wilson was phenomenal, and as expected, because he was not really a premier threat in Florida's offense, Georgia didn't really know how to defend him and didn't really know how to counteract the attack that he brought. 9 catches for 123 yards and a couple of touchdowns. He was pretty damn good last Saturday. Now, outside of Eugene Wilson, DJ Lagway didn't really make the best throws everywhere else. He missed a wide open Tank Hawkins. Tank Hawkins, who was running down the field on second down. In the second quarter, he was like 5 steps ahead of the 2 Georgia defensive backs that were covering him. It would have been a clear touchdown if he landed that throw. He misses it, and Florida has to punt the ball back to UGA, and UGA comes back in and kicks a field goal to make it a 10-10 game. And that was points that you really need in order to really win that game and steal one. Another missed throw that DJ Lagway had, it was in the second half. I think it was Florida's first possession of the second half. He had Mayer Jackson, who had beat his man and was splitting the Georgia safeties down the field, but DJ Lagway threw it too far to the outside and threw too far ahead, and what would have been a big first down for Florida, DJ missed that. And obviously you have the J. Michael Sturman in play, which granted, I'm a Florida fan saying this, I do think he caught it, but if DJ Lagway throws a better ball and doesn't underthrow him, J. Michael Sturman doesn't have to slip in order to come back to the ball, and he gets a big play and probably would have scored, because if you go back and look, those Georgia defensive backs were like 10 yards behind him, and they didn't even realize he was back there, and J. Michael Sturman, in my opinion, would have scored if DJ Lagway throws a better ball. Billy Gonzalez, the interim coach, I think did a pretty decent job of calling this game, managing this game. I disagreed with his decision to go for it late in the fourth quarter, or at least in the midway part of the fourth quarter when Florida was at I believe, Georgia 21. I would have kicked the field goal there, make it a 6-point game, because you just don't know when it comes down to these close games, man. The points that you choose to not take can come back and haunt you, and I think it did for Florida in this game, because it kind of gave Georgia that momentum, and you could have, in my opinion, kicked the field goal, make Georgia, and really put the pressure on the Georgia defense to stop Florida, because if they only just have to score a field goal, then Florida, in my opinion, wouldn't constantly be trying to throw the ball down the field just to get to go for the touchdown. Instead, they could have been more methodical in their approach on their last possession and just go for the field goal to try to win it. So I thought that was a big mistake by Billy Gonzalez to pass up on the points there. Outside of that, I thought he called for the most part, a pretty good game. Defensively, I think Florida did a very good job against Georgia defense, better than they have the last few seasons. I thought George Gums, to me, like I said, was the player of the game. I thought he had 3 quarterback sacks on the day, but I guess Gunnar Stockton got to the line of scrimmage on a couple of them because he was only credited with 1 sack. I thought George Gums really was playing with his hair on fire in that game. Devin Moore got an interception. We've been waiting to see that with Devin Moore for a while. Every time he starts to play well, he doesn't, he gets hurt. So I hope he keeps this up for the rest of the year, and hope he can go out on his senior season on a good note. I thought he played well. I thought for the linebackers, Miles Graham and Jaden Robinson were all over the field. They were tackling Georgia running backs, not letting them get too many yards after contact, not allowing Georgia guys on the short, intermediate dump-offs to get yards after the catch. I thought they played well. Mekhi Burrow got another sack, which is good for him. I thought the Florida defense, for the most part, played pretty well. It just wasn't good enough to win the game among the other facets of the game. And, well, it's another year. We're going to have to wait to see if we're going to potentially beat Georgia. It won't be in Jacksonville, which sucks. They won't be at Jacksonville for the next couple of years. They'll be in Atlanta next year, and then they'll be in Tampa the following year after that. I hope I can be at the Florida-Georgia game in 2028 in Jacksonville, because that's where that game should stay, in my opinion. That's traffic behind me if you heard that, because I'm outside. All in all, congratulations to Georgia. They won again, another year of beating both Tennessee and Georgia in the same season. And that's the reason why they've been the kings of the SEC since Kirby Smart has been there. They won the SEC last year. They won the national title 2 of the 3 previous years before that, and this is why, because they know how to win. So that's really it. And next I'm going to talk about Florida's upcoming game with Kentucky.